Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. It is Rangers 1, Celtic 0 at Ibrox at the moment. Sean, we're not the start to the game or the first half result that we would have hoped for. However, lots to break down, and again, we'll try and do so as objectively as analytically as possible. I'm just going to bring Liam in to join us. Sean, I'll start with you. Welcome, Liam. Break down that match. Who stood out for you in that first half, and who needs to sharpen up?
Yeah, I thought they started on the front foot, and once we got through those first 10 minutes of them coming out of the blocks, I thought we got control of the game after that, and they weren't really creating anything other than set pieces. They do score one set piece header. It's a concern that Nico Raskin keeps finding somehow one of the smallest players on the pitch keeps finding space in the box to win headers and score them. But he was offside, so we got a reprieve there, justifiably, not any kind of spurious or specious decisions there. We had a grip on it at that point, and we created a couple of half chances. Ida has one in about 16 minutes. Where Suter blocks it. I feel like he could have either taken it earlier or taken an extra touch. Either of those options would have been preferable. And then obviously we have that moment in the 44th minute where Ida's clean through, 1-on-1 with the keeper, tries to dink him, hits the keeper, and then Sevco go up and score from the one chance, one goal from a person who normally takes 10 chances to score a goal in 0 Dessers. So we've had, other than the first 10 minutes, we've had a good grip in the game. And yeah, I think that we're 1-0 down thanks to kind of two errors. One from Ida, who really should do better 1-on-1, and one from Scales, who, and look, Ida's going to get crucified for this, but really, like, Ida misses a chance, sure, but Scales absolutely stuffs up the defending. Like, he commits to a tackle that he can't make, he can't reach, and it gives Dessers just basically a free shot from about 12 yards out. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's I think 0-0 would have been a fair reflection, or 1-1, or maybe. But as it is, we're 1-0 down, and they've now got something to hold on to and something to get the crowd up. And I assume that all the politicians that have been attacking Kneecap this week will also be out attacking the 48,000 people for singing about killing Catholics. We'll see. I won't hold my breath, though.
Yeah, well, we will talk. There was a TIFO that we do want to bring up, and I'll bring that up at full time after the match because I think it merits discussion. But for now, at halftime, we'll focus on the match, Liam. Now, Sean, I think, has spoken about Cyril Dessers there, gets a goal largely down to our defending. Up to that point, I think Cyril Dessers only had about 5 or 6 touches and only one anywhere near our box. So actually, up to that point, we were doing a decent job on him. But we certainly seem to switch off after the missed Adamida chance. We don't deal with the counter attack, which has been a facet of our play this season, and it's a little bit of a sucker punch at the end of the game. But have you seen enough, Liam, in that first half to not be too downbeat in terms of half time? And is there enough about us to get back into this? Because we have created some chances in this match.
It's not like the New Year game. It's not even like the last game at Celtic Park where half time we're thinking, God, we're just being completely overrun here. That was a competitive game. It was a pretty even game, and Sean's right. A draw at halftime would have been a fair reflection, I think.
Agreed.
But they got the goal. But it is only one goal, and this is a team that have lost at least 2 goals in pretty much every game they've played in the last couple of months. So, you know, there's reasons to be confident. Like they say, it's the hope that kills them. So, and my old man does have Rangers halftime, Celtic full time on his coupon. So it'd be nice if that came in. I'm okay. I'm all right about this. You don't want to be losing to them at any point, but I'm not overly worried. We always play better in the second half. They've only got 1 goal ahead of us, only just, and they haven't controlled the play like they have in recent derbies. So no, I'm okay. I don't think this is over yet.
Yeah. In terms of the personnel we've got out there, we spoke a little bit about some of the enforced changes, the pre-match, Sean. Guys have came in, James Forrest, Tony Ralston, Adam Ida coming in. What have you made of their performance? I mean, they've certainly been involved.
Yeah, I think Ralston's more strength is more in defense than it is in offense, and that's kind of showing. A lot of the time, Alice Johnson can hit the byline, find those runners, the cutbacks to the penalty spot, and that Ralston's been crossing from deep. I don't know. He's obviously not been in the team as much lately, so I can't really say with confidence if that's relative to the game as it is, or if it's relative to just the skill sets of the players. But that is something that's been different. Look, I think I was actually thought Scales was having a good game up until that 44th minute. I thought Carter Vickers was having a good game. I thought our two centre backs were having a good game. Ralston was defending well but struggling to attack. Taylor has just been very up and down. Like, there's been moments where he's been wildly out of position, particularly in the first 10 minutes where he was playing like he was playing against St Mirren, where he was just wandering up the pitch and wandering into his midfield berth, which is fine when, against Kilmarnock at Celtic Park when they're sitting deep. But an away game against the second best team in the league, you kind of need a bit more discipline than that. But that being said, Taylor has also been quite instrumental in most of the best opportunities we've had. Yep. So it's been a bit Jekyll and Hyde for Taylor in that sense. I think the midfield's handled it well. I've enjoyed the McGregor versus Raskin and Engels versus Raskin thing that's been going on. Hitate's been tidy but not damaging. Forrest is the same. I actually like to get Maeda more involved. He's not been involved enough. And Ida, when it's come to him, it's just not been clinical, not done enough. But he's been getting into positions, so I don't know. He's having a Dessers of a game in that sense.
Absolutely. Going into the second half, Liam, obviously some decisions for the manager. Would you make any changes just now? Would you wait until 60 minutes, see how it's playing out? And if you were to make changes, what would you look for? Would you prefer to see Maeda maybe moving up front to give Rangers a different challenge there? Maybe bring someone like Yang on, or would you persist with Adam leading the line and just hope to try and bring Maeda more into the play?
I would go 10 minutes into the second half and see how we're doing. I don't think it's panic stations yet. I think the thing is about that Ida chance, and all right, I was a goalkeeper, so I'm biased, but I think that's a great save more than anything else.
Yeah, he makes himself
big. Spreads himself. I think it hits his shoulder. It's a great save, right? Oh yes, Ida should have scored, but give the keeper some credit. That was an excellent bit of goalkeeping, and we could come back and win this. I'm confident. I'm not. I'm not as down on this as a lot of people in the comments are right now. But we'll see who's laughing at full time. But wait and see.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I do want to bring some of the comments in just now, just get your thoughts on it. So I'll bring Neil Reid in first. Neil says, need to get Maeda involved. That echoes your comment. Liam, I think that makes sense. Slabbering Cabbage comes in to say, I hate to say it, but Ida is our Dessers. Well, we're seeing some comparisons. I'm not sure they're entirely flattering, but I think at the same time, I think Ida's done a lot of right in that first half, and I say that in terms of using his strength. I still think there are question marks over his ability to distribute the ball and bring other players in, but I actually thought he used his strength quite well and created some opportunities. The one for Forrest, for example, where he just doesn't get the weight on the pass, but if he gets that right, that's a tremendous assist because he wins the ball first. So I do want to balance the maybe the areas he wasn't so good with what I think he did very, very well. Stesano comes in to say, second Big Adam's got to score. Kyogo would have buried that. Head up though, we can win this. Yeah, I think it is half time, guys. It's only one goal in it, and we have at times looked dangerous. I don't think Rangers are ahead of us by a great degree in this game. Christopher Patterson comes in to say Celtic will not live it down if we get beat again. I don't know. I think a treble might compensate for that quite well. A treble of trophies, not a treble of wins. Jim G comes in to say get Kenny on. Let's see what he's made of. I take $3 million for Ida right now. Well, I'd say that was harsh on Ida. Yeah, I'd say that's harsh on Ida. I think Kenny could be opportunity for him to come in and show what he can do. One of the element that Brendan Rodgers has spoken about is his ability to actually hit the back of the net. He's certainly a goal scorer. Joe Hamilton comes in, regular on the channel. The fight is there, the speed is not, and really disappointed in Big Adam. As I say, I think Adam's done enough good in there, but yeah, ultimately he's going to be measured on whether or not he takes his chances and scores goals. And he's not had too many clear-cut chances. Sean Harry, have you been impressed with the other elements of his play today? Do you think he's doing enough to lead that line like we spoke about pre-match, or does he have to really focus on just getting into those positions and being ready for the hopefully the ball's coming into the box to put one away?
I think he's been okay. I don't think he's been great. I don't think he's been awful. I think he's been okay. There was a chance relatively early where he could play Forrest in, and Forrest gets a one-on-one if he gets the weight of the pass right. But he undercuts the pass, under strengthens it, doesn't put in, and the defender gets across. Look, when you get these chances that he's missing, you have to also do the work to create those chances. So that's a positive in that sense, right? You can talk about missing chances, but being in that position and managing to fashion those chances is also a key skill. So, there's some ticks and some crosses, and like if he scores one of those two big chances he has, it's a very different conversation right now. And we're having a conversation saying that Adam Ida's been sensational. So it's really harsh to downplay him for missing, but also that's his job as a striker, to score goals in the same way that Liam Scales' job as a defender is to stop Cyril Dessers from getting a free shot and goal. So it's hard when you play a decent game of football overall and it comes into those moments. This is what we talk about when we play in the Champions League. You have to be focused and you have to make all those little moments matter. And it really does come down to those small moments, and we're not really, we weren't on it in that sense. But we've not played poorly, we haven't, but it's frustrating that we're losing yet again to this terrible team.
Yeah.
They're 17 points behind us, and they're going to close it down to 14, and if it keeps going this way, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I do want to, got you, Sean, just talk about one incident, get your referee's view before we jump back to Liam. And it was on the Diomande pull on Taylor. Wasn't even reviewed by VAR.
And even the TV didn't give it a good look either, so I can't even comment with any authority, because there was one replay from a terrible camera angle, and to be honest, from that one angle, it looked like it should have been a penalty. It was one of those very similar to the one that they all kicked up about after the cup final. So I'd be interested to see a better angle and see it. But there was certainly something going on there that looked very penalty-ish, that maybe would have been penalty-ish if it was at the other end, or if it was at Celtic Park for us, or if, blah, 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 Mason's grandmother's birthday age, all that sort of thing.
Absolutely. I love it that we can still have good humour even though we are behind at the break. Liam, just before we jump back to the action, a lot of comments coming in around about Engels and Hatate maybe not influencing the game. Now, I felt Engels was using strength better in that game. I thought he was really putting himself about. What I would say is I agree with Sean's assessment on Rio Hatate. We know what he can bring to the table. We know how much he can influence games, play for the big moments. I don't think he's doing a lot wrong in the game, but he's certainly not having the opportunity to influence it the way we'd hope he would. What's been your assessment?
No, I would agree with that. Hatate's play style is always going to be hit and miss, because when it comes off, it looks brilliant. Like that wee flick that he tried in the first couple of minutes, that wee sort of chipped ball over the top, was an example of that. If that comes off, it's a goal of the season contender. But when things like that don't come off, it just kind of, he looks quite ordinary, and he's looked that way so far. But I don't think you take him off, because I think he's one of the ones that could still influence the game going forward.
Yeah, and we've seen him do it very, very late in games, so fingers crossed we may get to see that. We are getting close to the players coming back out. I'll bring in a few more comments here just to before we get back to the action. But while I'm doing that, guys, so Greensmoke comes in. It's always midfield with them. Ours don't turn up. I think there's been some positive elements for the midfield at times, but yeah, I think we let ourselves down at the goal. A little bit, which is something that needs to be addressed. Stephen O'Rourke comes in to say Engels needs sold, as does Hatate, need better. I think you've got to look at, well, where do you find a better player, for example, than Hatate for the money that we can pay. So I think we've still got 45 minutes to go. Let's not crucify the guys just yet. Personal Jesus comes in to say need a refresh and a hard reset. Well, Brendan has talked about needing to refresh for the next season, and particularly the European campaign. Sean, come to you just as the players are coming out. When it comes to the point of making changes, who would you look to on that bench to come in and make a difference at the moment?
Oh, geez, I don't even remember. Who's on the bench? Who have we got in the wing?
So Yang is back in. Yeah.
So Yang. Oh my God. Really, McCowan? I think McCowan's the only one I can think of. Bernardo maybe for fresh legs. Yang maybe. Oh man, there's not much there, is there? Yeah, that's an indictment, I really think.
Yeah, absolutely. And Liam, same question to you. Who would you look to on that bench? Anyone that
potentially make Bernardo and Yang in for Ida and Hatate.
All right. Well, listen.
Put Maeda through the middle, switch Forrest over to the left, and put Yang on the right. Potentially.
Sounds like it could be a plan. Listen, guys, the teams are back out on the park. Thank you, everyone, who joined us and are commenting on the channel. We will be back, win, lose, or draw, at full time to try and break down the game. I hope you join us. But thank you very much in the meantime for joining A Celtic State of Mind.